Good afternoon. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You know, truth matters. It really does. You can find us on the radio, icradio.media. Another way you can find us is on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Another way you can find us is through our podcast, and that's with thenewscasters.com. We appreciate every single opportunity that we have to get the word out there to you. You know, you can always send an email to donna@donnasedge.com, and a number of you have. I would love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions about shows, a topic you would like for me to cover, I'll be glad to do that for you. And also, if you would just plain old like to be on the show, you can send a message pertaining to that as well. Now, I did receive a message from Denise, and she said that she had heard her grandparents talk about the world of bartering. And this is back in the Depression era, and actually even it goes farther back than that. And I remember my grandparents talking about it as well. When you had no money to spend, but maybe you had a crop of corn that you could barter with someone in the community. And there are all kinds of things that you can use for bartering. So I found an interesting website. I'd never found this one before, and I like it. And it's investopedia.com. Investopedia.com. So they're talking about bartering. And it goes into a little bit more detail than I even knew about. And bartering is just a little bit different than it was back in our grandparents' era. So let's talk about it. So this is how they explain it. Barter is an act of trading goods or services between two or more parties without the use of money, or, as they didn't have back in our grandparents' day, or a monetary medium such as a credit card. In essence, bartering involves the provision of one good or service by one party in return for another good or service from another party. So a simple example of a barter arrangement is maybe a carpenter who builds a fence for a farmer. Instead of the farmer paying the builder $1,000 in cash labor and materials, the farmer could instead recompense the barter with the $1,000 worth of crops or foodstuffs. So that's a great way to look at it. And here are some key takeaways. Now, bartering is an exchange of goods or services between two or more parties without the use of money. You know, you never know. Things can happen in the economy. Remember when COVID hit, we were having a hard time with supply. And, you know, some of the supplies were stuck on a truck or a train somewhere. And so we were having a problem getting our supply of needs back when that happened. Now, it's also the oldest form of commerce. Again, you think of, the Depression, it actually goes back way farther than that. We're going to discuss that. Also, another takeaway is individuals and companies barter goods and services between each other based on an equivalent estimate of prices and goods. Now, this is another key point. The IRS considers bartering to be a form of income that incurs with taxes. You know they're going to get their fingers in there somehow. Now let's talk about the principles of bartering. Now, bartering is based on a simple concept. This is two individuals negotiate to determine the relative value of their goods and services, and then they offer them to one another in an even exchange. It's the oldest form of commerce, dating back to a time before hard currency even existed. Okay, while the current senior generation bartered with the limited goods they had on hand, it could be like produce and livestock, or services they could personally render, like carpentry or maybe even tailoring, to someone they knew. Today, most Americans have access to nearly unlimited source of potential bartering partners throughout the internet. Now, virtually any item or service can be bartered if the parties involved agree to the term of the trade. Individual companies and countries can all benefit from such cashless exchanges, particularly if they're lacking hard currencies to obtain goods and services. Probably the only person who won't do it would be your bank if you're making a house payment, so keep that in mind. Here's the tip. While it's mostly associated with commerce during ancient times, bartering has been reinvented in this era through the internet. Now let's talk about the benefits of bartering, and I can think of a lot of them. Bartering allows individuals to trade items that they own but are not using for items that they need, while keeping their cash on hand for expenses that cannot be paid through bartering, such as a mortgage. Couldn't do it that way. Medical bills wouldn't count, and your utilities. There's no way you're going to be able to make that happen. But bartering can have a psychological benefit because it can create a deeper personal relationship between bartering partners than a typical monetarized transaction. So bartering can also help people build professional networks and market their business. I'm actually up for that. So if you have a goods or services and maybe you would like to go through my show and through the station, I'll consider bartering. So get with me. You can send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. Now, here this is important. Okay, so in an economic crunch, bartering can be a great way to get the goods and services you need without having to pull money out of your pocket. Okay, now on a broader level, bartering can result in the optimal allocation of resources by exchanging goods in quantities that represent similar values. Bartering can also help economics achieve what they need, which occurs when demand equals supply. Now, how do individuals barter? Okay, let's talk about it. When two people each have items the other one wants, both parties can determine the values of the items and provide the amount that results in an optimal allocation of resources. For instance, if an individual has 20 pounds of rice that they value at $10, they can exchange it with another individual who needs rice and who has something that the individual wants that also is valued at $10. A person can also exchange an item for something that the individual does not need because there is a ready market to dispose of that item. Now, how do companies barter? Okay, companies may want to barter their products for other products because they do not have credit or cash to buy those goods. It's an efficient way to trade because the risk of foreign exchange are eliminated. The most common contemporary example of business-to-business, B2B, barter transactions is an exchange of advertising time or space. And again, I'm open to it, okay? It is typical for a smaller firm to trade the rights to advertise on each other's business spaces. So bartering also occurs among companies and individuals. For example, an accounting firm can provide an accounting report for an electrician in exchange for having its offices rewired by the electrician. How countries barter. So countries also engage in bartering when they are deeply in debt and are unable to obtain finances. So goods are exported in exchange for goods that the country needs. In this way, countries manage trade deficits and reduce the amount of debt they incur. Now let's think about this. 12 to 14 billion dollars. No, that's more than I could ever imagine in my instance. But the estimated annual dollar range of barter transactions in the U.S., according to the International Trade Association, is 12 to 14 billion dollars. Now, bartering during down times. Now, we've heard our grandparents talk about this. Some of you, great-grandparents. So online barter exchanges become especially popular with small businesses after the 2008 financial crisis, which accumulated in the Great Recession. Some of us still call it the Great Depression. As prospects and sales dwindle, small business increasingly turn to barter exchanges to generate revenue. Now, these exchanges enabled members to find new customers for their products, to get access to goods and services using reused inventory. Now, the exchanges also used custom currency, which can be hoarded and used in purchase services such as hotel stays during vacations. So the barter economy during the financial crisis was estimated to have touched $3 billion. There's been several other examples of bartering growing in popularity during times of economic uncertainty. For example, in 2020, a year associated with COVID-19 enforced lockdowns, the BBC reported that bartering in the United Kingdom had become so much more widespread. Moreover, in 2022, it was reported that frustrated Argentines, against the backdrop of high inflation and low wages, introduced barter fairs in and around their country. Now, here are the tax implications. You know that's going to happen. So the tax implications of bartering, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, considers bartering a form of revenue and something that must be reported as taxable income. Under the U.S. General Accepted Accounting Principles, the GAAP, businesses are expected to estimate the fair market value of their bartered goods or services. Now, this is done by referring to past cash transactions of similar goods or services and using that historical revenue as reportable value. Now, when it is not possible to accurately calculate the value, most bartered goods are reported based on their carrying value. Now, for the IRS, estimated barter dollars are identical to real dollars for tax purposes, which means that barter arrangements are considered the same as cash payments. The barter dollars are reported as income and taxed in the fiscal year in which the barter occurred. The IRS further distinguishes between different forms of bartering, and there are slightly different rules for each type. Most non-monetary business income is reported on Form 1040, that's Schedule C for profit or loss from business. Since bartering has tax implications, it's worth consulting a tax professional before making any significant commitments. Now, I just wanted to mention this. Rhonda at Rhonda Elite's Tax Service has been handling my taxes and my income for going on 10 years now, or probably a little bit longer than that. We moved from Charlotte, North Carolina in 2013, and yeah, it's been 10 years. And so she has been handling, and I fully trust her. So you need to check her out on the web. Check her out on Facebook. It'll be an easy way to find her, and that's Rhonda's Elite Tax Service. She's located just out of Boaz, Alabama, between Boaz and going into Etowah County. But she really knows her stuff. So I talked with her about it, and in very lengthy discussion about that. And she said, you can do that. And we mentioned it during COVID when that hit. She said, sure. She said, we'll just have to keep it up. And it is a form of bartering. B-A-R-T-E-R-I-N-G. So that word needs to be in your vocabulary just in case there's a problem with supplies like we experienced back in the year 2020. Now, let's go into a commercial break. I just saw what time it is. Let's go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about how to barter. And we talked about the tax implications, but let's talk about how to barter. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
My Towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wouldn't dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring-spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
MyPillow.com.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. We're talking about bartering and how that can actually help you get around in life. And I'm up for bartering in my company. So if you are interested in advertising, but you just can't afford it right now, you're still, working on things happening, with the economy and, with COVID, folks are still suffering with that. I'll consider bartering. Send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. And I'll be glad to talk with you about that. Now, let's talk about how to barter. Before we get started, let's go back over tax implications about bartering, because the IRS still considers bartering a form of revenue and something that must be reported as taxable income, okay? And I did talk with Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax Service, who's my go-to person since I've moved back from Charlotte, North Carolina. 10 years talking with that girl, and she really knows her stuff. Okay, how to barter. So how can an individual successfully barter? Here are some tips. First of all, you need to identify your resources. What items do you have that you could easily part with? Use a critical eye to go through your home and consider possessions you may have in storage or that another family member or friend is currently using. If you would prefer to offer the services, honestly access what you could provide for others that would otherwise pay a professional to do. It could be a skill, it could be a talent, or even a hobby such as photography. Put a price tag on it, okay? You've got to do that because what you do is worth something. It most certainly is. Don't go overboard, don't overprice it, but don't underprice it either. Put a price tag on it. Successfully bartering must result in the satisfaction of both parties. This can happen if the items bartered are realistically valued. Now, if you have an item you would like to trade, obtain an accurate appraisal, an item is worth only what someone is willing to pay for it. Therefore, do your research and look at the selling section on eBay to find out what online buyers have paid for similar items. That's a fantastic way to figure out what it's worth. To value a service, call around for local estimates from professionals to find out how competitively you can price your abilities. Remember to be honest about your skills and to factor in costs associated with the exchange. You may have to ship it, so you may have to figure that in. Or materials if you're trading for a skill. Let's say you are a roofer and you are considering bartering with people about that. You really need, and again, don't gouge people, don't overdo it, but you need to keep in mind what it cost for you, because I'm telling you, the price of carpentry has just shot up. I mean, it's unreal what it costs to get something done at your house. But again, this is a great way, my case, a great way to get some advertising done. We can barter to get that done. Okay, now identify your needs. Be specific about what you're looking for in a barter exchange. In addition to specific items you may need, here's a list of potential services that you could barter for. Keep these in mind, okay? And again, now the website is Investopedia.com. Investopedia.com. Okay, you could barter for babysitting, daycare, car repair work, lawn care, landscaping, computer repair, maybe small home business or improvement projects, plumbing, moving assistance, tax preparation, financial planning, orthodontist work, maybe medical care, and maybe even lodging. So you can consider that bartering, okay? Now, search for bartering partners. After you know what you have to offer and exactly what you need or you want in a barter situation, find a barter partner. If you don't have a specific person or business in mind, try word of mouth. Let your friends, your colleagues, and social network know about your specific need and what you want in a barter situation. Now, check online swap markets and online auctions that have a bartering component, such as Craigslist, but be careful with Craigslist, okay? That one really freaks me out. Check under for sale for the bartering category. You can do SWAPACE.com and also barterquest.com. Also check for local bartering clubs. Your local Chamber of Commerce may be able to provide you with information on a similar club in your area. Now, make a deal. After you have found a barter partner, get the agreement in writing. That's important too. Make sure that you detail what services or goods will be involved, the date of the exchange or work to be done, and any recourse if either party reneges on their part of the deal. If you're working through a membership-based bartering association, they will likely provide all the structure and paperwork you need for the deal. Now, here are the limits of bartering. Bartering does have its limitations. Much bigger or chain businesses probably will not entertain the idea. And even smaller organizations could limit the dollar amount of goods or services for which they will barter. They may not agree to a 100% barter arrangement and instead require you to make at least partial payment. So think about that. Now, membership-based bartering, trading exchanges. Some businesses that may not directly barter with customers might swap goods or services through membership-based trading exchanges, such as ITEX or International Monetary Systems, that's IMS. Now, by joining a trading network which offers charge fees, members can trade with other members for barter dollars. Each transaction is subject to a minimal fee. The exchange facilitates the swap and manages the tax components of bartering, such as issuing a 1099-B form to participating members. You may also find a nearby exchange through the International Receptacle Trades Association, that's the IRTA, and they have a membership directory, by the way. Now, before you sign up and pay for a membership, however, make sure that the members offer the type of goods and services that you need. Otherwise, you may find yourself with barter money or credit that you can't use. Now, what's an example of a barter? A barter transaction could occur, say, between a plumber and maybe a copywriter. In this example, the plumber goes to the writer's house to fix some leaking pipes, and then rather than asking for payment, asks the writer to help pin some promotional materials for the barter's business instead. What we're witnessing here is one service, plumbing work, being exchanged for another in writing without any money changing hands. Now, is bartering legal? Bartering is legal in many countries in the world, provided it's carried out correctly. Okay, you still have to look for scam artists in bartering too, okay, because they are out there. So be very careful who you barter with. Okay, you need to check them out just like it is if you're changing money out. You need to do that because you could get left holding the bag. Okay, issues can arise when exchanges aren't declared to local tax authorities, in which case the bartering transaction becomes illegal. Okay, now, is bartering still used today? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. The use of a cashless exchange system is still flourishing today. For example, modern forms of bartering include time banking. It could be child care cooperatives and house setting. Now, what's the bottom line? We're about to be through with this particular. Yeah, I've got time. Okay. The bottom line is bartering is often associated with underdeveloped economies, medieval markets, and times of old. However, in reality, this ancient custom continues to flourish throughout the world. So, goods or services of similar value are regularly exchanged without cash changing hands from the United States of America all the way to China. And technological developments such as the internet have made it easier than ever to find potential bartering partners and useful services to exchange for. Now, I'll get with this really, really fast. Trade bold and trade smart. Inspiring trading starts with a better broker. With tasty trade, you'll have to access to innovative software. This is just a company that can actually go. You can do this yourself, okay? You don't have to go through a company to do it. But there is a company that will help you out with this, and it's called A Better Broker. So you'll have to Google it. Oh, wait a minute. I might have the website right here. Okay. Yes, it is. info.tastytrade.com. info.tastytrade.com. But you don't need that. Okay. You can do this on your own. You just need to do it the legally way. And I'm giving you the website one more time. Okay. For what we were just discussing. And it was investopedia.com. investopedia.com. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna. I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, and I really enjoyed being with you today. Can't wait to see you next time.